Entertainment. Ruslan. Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan. Ruslan.
Holy smokes, you are here. Well, you're not really early, you're on time, but I appreciate you being here on time. If you happen to be watching the replay of this, look in the pinned comment below. This whole intro usually gets trimmed out so you can see when the video starts right below. But since you're here, the person's watching this live, I need you to do me a solid. Make sure you click out of the chat for 2.3 seconds and preemptively, yes, preemptively give this video a like. When you like this video, you tell YouTube that you like it. YouTube shoots it to the moon and good things happen. If you're not subscribed, obviously make sure you're subscribed. The brand new album, Love What You Do, available on all streaming platforms. And so without any further ado, we're now going to start our countdown clock with one of the new songs from the project, Love What You Do. Thank you so much for being here.
Everybody trying to live a meaningful life, but have you ever wondered if you wasted your time? They ain't know the struggle, they don't know what it's like. I'm pretty exhausted, yeah, I put in the time. It's like work, hustle, grind it till you die, but it's like race, not muscle, and everything I write. I wrote this one for my independence. Go ahead, get your happy ending. I got one shot, this ain't a gimmick. You got one life, watch how you live it. You got one take, only one take. You got one life, why would you waste it? This ain't a gimmick. You got one life, watch how you live it. You got one take, only one take. You got one life, why would you waste it?
Take in one take, moments to notice it's historical. They don't know the process, the prophet, or it's an oracle. No place to lay my head cause the studio stay portable. What good's to gain the world but lose your soul? That ain't rhetorical. I don't give answers to questions that aren't asked. I do take chances, the lessons they aren't fast. Bought my wife a purse but it's never about the bag. We go into the moon, never put haters on blast. Off below my means and stay affordable. Don't need Balenciagas, the saga is what's promotable. Knit together in my mother's womb by the designer of designers. Future so bright that I can't see behind it.
It's like work, hustle, grind until you die, but it's like race, not muscle, and everything I write. I wrote this one for my independence. Go ahead, get your happy ending. I got one shot, this ain't a gimmick. You got one life, watch how you live it. You got one take, only one take. You got one life, why would you waste it? This ain't a gimmick. You got one life, watch how you live it. You got one take, only one take. You got one life, why would you waste it?
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are back for our monthly, well, it's bi-monthly, twice a month we do a Zoom call with our Patreon community and your questions asked by them. They make up the content. Some of this makes it into individual videos and some of it does not. And then we also have some offline time in case someone doesn't want to like be on here bearing their soul for for the world to see, or the folks that are here. If you're watching this live, make sure you smash that like button. If you're in the Zoom call and you have a question, do me a solid and hit participants and then throw your hand up. So hit participants, throw your hand up, that way I can see you and I'll bring you in on the screen here shortly. Guys, we have our Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday sale happening right now. 25% off when you use the code Black Friday, and free shipping on orders over $100 in the US. So this is one of our latest pieces, the Bless God crew neck, most comfortable sweatshirt I think you could ever find. So if you guys want to scoop that up, link is in the description, all that good stuff. All right, so we have some folks in the Zoom call. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna go to Angel here in just a second. Get him pinned up. Angel with the saucy background. My man, ready to hop in the stream. Let me get us situated. All right, Angel. I got you
How's it
set
going,
up
brother?
here. It's going good. Let me turn the music off.
Good.
All right, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, so it's a quick question. I'll give you some context. So it's how much should creative entrepreneurs charge for their skill set when barely starting off, or if we should even charge? For example, me, I have a camera. I have a good lens, and I use it at my church for photography. And I've gotten a gimbal, and recently I've been starting to edit some like short form content for my personal channel, Exalt. It's like fitness / mostly Bible studies right now, but I'm transitioning into fitness super soon. And how much should I charge? Because I had a real estate client, reach out to me on Twitter like, oh, hey, are you looking to edit some videos? So I go over, I check out their settings, how they want their videos edited. It's like basically just sitting down, me recording and them answering questions on themselves. And I edit it, I add some captions. But I don't know how to charge. And I live in Cali, so I might need to charge a bit more. I'm using my equipment. I just want to make my money's worth, but at the same time, I don't want to overcharge nor undercharge my work. And I'm barely starting off.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think so there's gonna be certain people that are like, never do free work ever, right? And there's that whole school of thought, which I personally am not a fan of, because it depends on where you are in the process, and it depends on how well your skill set is and how poppin' your network is, right? So where are you? Like how long have you been doing this, and how good are you? That would be my first question to you.
Where I'm at, I am literally at the beginner level.
Okay.
I have really good experience in Photoshop editing.
Okay.
Like for my church.
Yep.
But nothing to the extreme where I'm used to charging people. I'm used to offering work and then being, wow, this kid can do it.
Right.
But I am at the level of, oh, this is some good editing.
Yep.
Let's make something out of it,
Yeah. Okay. So you're ground floor.
basically.
Okay. So there's a couple ways to look at it. One, you could figure out what the fair market rate is for someone that's starting out just like you. So if you were an intern somewhere, right? If you were the entry-level designer, if you were using a service like Fiverr to get more new clients, right? You could figure out what is the basics of what you're charging. That's step one, right? Step two is you let the market decide, right? So what that looks like is you this is what I can do for people, this is what I could do, and then say, what is your budget, right? What is your budget? And that will tell you fairly easy where they view you as. Now, sometimes people are super cheap and they're gonna try to finesse you, right? So that's not a good gauge all the time, right? It's like, but it's an easy question. You know what I mean? It's a really easy question. Like, just get to the bottom of it. What's your budget? Because somebody might be willing to pay you a couple $100, right? And not. And so that's an easy question. Like, what's your budget, right? It sounds like where you're at, and this is just my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like where you're at is you need as much experience as you can, right? Like, you need as much experience as you can. So the model that I recommend for people is, when it comes to editing video photography, is I would say find a plethora of recurring clients you could put on retainer, right? And do a killer job for them on the first project to show proof of concept, and then try to lock them into some sort of retainer. And that word lock them in sounds weird, but like try to get a retainer agreement with them, right? So maybe they would have paid you $200 or $500 for one project, but you do the first project for free, you crush it, you knock it out of the park. You need the hours anyway. Like, the truth is, you really just need the hours as well, right? And so then you say, hey man, say there's you're in Southern California.
Yeah.
What part?
Oxnard by Ventura.
Great. So you're in Oxnard by Ventura. There's a new vegan pastry shop, right? And you know that for that area of Oxnard, it's lit, people love vegan food and dessert, right? So you pull up and you say, hey man, like you guys got this spot. Listen, you know how important social media is. Let me do 9 videos and or photos for your Instagram. And I'm just gonna do that on a house just because you guys are a new business. I'm a small business. I wanna rock with small businesses in my area. I'm just gonna do you a solid. Boom. You knock it out of the park with 9, and I say 9 just because it fills a whole block on Instagram, right? So you do 9 between combinations of photos, TikTok, IG style videos, and you crush it. And then you circle back and you say, hey man, look, like you guys got a couple hundred followers because of this. You got some new referrals in. Would you be open to doing some sort of retainer? You know what I mean? And then say, because if you get 3-4 small businesses at $500 to $1,000 for you to show up and do their social media once a week, that positions you in a really cool place. And now that's recurring money and not just one-off jobs, because doing one-off jobs, you'll get burnt just doing a bunch of one-off jobs, right? So you need to develop the skill set, and you also need to develop the network, and you can do both. You can do free work to develop your network, while at the same time, by blessing your network, you're developing your skill set. And the more you do that, and the better you get, and the more results you provide for people, the more your network and your skill set is gonna expand, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with doing free work as long as there's a trajectory and we're aiming at something. And if I'm you, I'm thinking recurring revenue. That's the way I'm looking at it, recurring revenue. I'm not doing a bunch of Christian rapper music videos. Like, no disrespect to Christian rappers, right? But I'm not doing that unless there's a Christian rapper that has a poppin' merch line, they're crushing it, they have revenue coming in, and you could be their video guy. Like, you literally just are their video guy. You're gonna help them with their TikToks, you're gonna help them with their merch drops. That's different versus like, hey, I'm gonna go and shoot a music video and I could maybe make $1,500 off of this or $1,000 off of this, but I'm gonna do it for free. Like, that's not a sustainable model because there's only so many music videos you could do. But if you could be a media guy for 4 or 5 different businesses, then you could expand that network and expand your skill set.
Great.
So, the good news is you're in a great city. That's a poppin' market. You're not in like rural Alabama. You know what I mean? You're in a great city, and you see the vision. So I would just keep skill stacking with additional things, and really lead with results. The more results you can create for people, the easier it is to do stuff. And by the way, and don't be afraid to trade too, right? Like, don't be afraid to trade with people, meaning that you might do a freelance job for somebody for free, and because you do something for free, they might be willing to give you something for free in exchange, and that bartering could be very, very, very useful to someone that's just starting out, right? And I'm doing the same thing. There's a new arm of my business that I'm working on, and I've just been doing bartering with people because I want, 1, to practice and refine what I'm doing, and 2, I want access to their network. That's really what I'm after, because if I can get access to their network with this product that I have, then holy moly, sky's the limit. You know what I mean? And so I'm willing to barter with people and trade time for time, right? And then that way I'll expand my network, and I'm also getting to practice this skill set of this new business, arm of my business I'm trying to launch.
Got it. Great. And example, like once I pass that breakthrough of starting out with free content for them and they love it, I still kind of don't have a clear vision of how much to charge hourly for the project. I know you mentioned 5 to 1K a month for each business, but I really don't know how much to charge.
So this is where you got to network a little bit and figure out what other people are doing and figure out what other rates are, right? So like, I have a guy who pays about $2,000 a month for someone to come in once a week, shoot their podcast, chop up their social media videos. I don't remember how many videos it is, but it's like 1 podcast a week, and then it's like, I want to say 6 to 8 videos chopped up for social media.
Once a week?
Once a week. And they make $2,000. So that's $500 a week. That's pretty good money for, let's just call it 3 hours of 3-4 hours of work a week. That's pretty good money to make $2,000 a month off of a client like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that
Yeah.
client will get you more clients like that. Right?
Okay.
And so shout out to Javier. He said per project, not hourly. Yeah, I think that's totally it. I think I would say per recurring project. That's really what you're after. And there's a lot of folks out here that want to get into the social media space, podcasting. There's so many different ways to do it. And so if you could be a team member on someone's team and all that kind of stuff, I think that'd be good. Shout out to Ramona. She said, I edit videos and social media posts for a real estate agent. I get $2,000 a month. Yeah, I mean, $2,000 a month, that's a great rate. That's a great rate, because this is how you got to think about it. If you do that for 5 clients, that's $10K a month. That's $120K a year, you know, and that shouldn't take you 40 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
And then if you can, and then what you do is you could take that experience and launch your own thing. You could start creating systems. So maybe you're the face of the business, but someone else is doing the editing and the heavy lifting that maybe you don't want to do. Or you then narrow it down and find one person that you want to work with and have some type of pay structure and incentive structure. Where maybe you could make 120K on your own juggling 5 clients, or let's just say 10 clients, or you could find one client, make 70 with them, but that 70 could turn into a couple hundred if you're their D-Rock to their Gary V, right? Like Gary V had D-Rock worked for free, then he got him a salary, and now D-Rock's making way more money because he's been there since the beginning.
Yeah. Great. That answered my question right there. You know, networking and asking those around me.
Yeah.
To do something similar for the
Yeah.
price is great.
Yeah,
Cool.
your
Thank you.
network and your skill set. Those are the 2 variables, right? Your network, your skill set. If you have a great network, you could expand your skill set by blessing your network. If you have a great skill set, you can bless your network and expand your skill set. Like, those 2 things are definitely going to work together. And I think the more you do that, you'll be shocked how many people out here have money, bro. Like, there's a lot. Like, you're younger, you know, you're not really thinking about it, but there's a lot of real estate agents, fitness professionals, right? Small business guys that have a couple grand a month that they're not trying to learn Instagram. Like, they don't got time to learn Facebook ads, right? They just want to do what they do. They want to be practitioners of their craft and their business. They don't have time to learn all this stuff. And so you could make really good money doing marketing and media for small businesses, man. And I do recommend it, because I think the skill set just becomes valuable. Because learning how to run someone's social media, now you're learning copy, because now you got to write these captions. You're learning the actual algorithms, right? So you got to be on top of it. And I think you're doing a lot of different pieces that I think help you develop a very unique skill set.
Great. Thank you.
Great question. All right, guys, if you're in the Zoom call and you have a question, throw your hand up by hitting participants and throwing your hand up. If you guys want to call in, the link is pinned up. You could call in for our Patreon community, which is the dopest community in all the universe, and that is what this stream is. It is a
Patreon exclusive.
All right. So, yeah, man, I think there's a ton of opportunity out there, and I think sometimes we assume that free work is beneath us and this whole thing, man. But I tell you what, I've made incredible relationships with free work, you know, and sometimes things that may even cost me something by like looking to solve somebody's problem might cost me something, but it always tends to come back around. It always tends to come back around in my favor. And not like doing stuff out of like manipulation, but just like genuinely trying to solve someone's problem, usually comes back around and turns into a massive blessing. So, guys, our Love What You Do, Bless God Black Friday special is still happening while inventory lasts. 25% off the whole store. Free shipping on orders over $100, and it's shipping instantly. This is not a pre-order like every other thing we've done before. This is live shipping, 25% off if you use the code Black Friday, all right? So make sure you guys hit the store. The link is in the description, all that kind of good stuff, all right? Somebody asked what's going on in Europe with protests. Yeah, it seems like there's some more COVID protests going on. I'm not mad at them. Work to learn, not always work to earn. Yes, Javier. The experience is important. That's how you skill stack. Come on, Javier. You dropping gems today. I love like Javier and Ramona just in the chat dropping gems, man. And AJ telling us what he makes for social media posts. That is so awesome, man. I'm super excited. I'm telling you guys that the next thing, if you're looking to really diversify your skill set, this short form video, the shorter the video, the better. If you could make and script and edit and add captions to videos under 15 seconds, that's where it's really at, because that's what Instagram, IG Reels, YouTube Shorts are rewarding. Like podcasting is great. YouTube is amazing. Obviously here I'm live streaming, broadcasting, but if you could take that and scale it to short form, that's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. And so we're working a lot internally with Gabe, who does all of my IG Reels. We're about to really try to launch into just flooding a ton. She said, yeah, Ramona said 7 to 9 seconds. Yeah, we're trying to launch in a flood TikTok and IG Reels with a ton of just short form vertical videos to really crush. For some reason, I cannot raise my hand. Okay, Lizzie, I'll pin you up if you can't raise your hand, and I'll get you in here. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, let's jump in.
Patreon exclusive.
I was watching your video on the new variant this morning before I went to church.
Lizzie,
Yeah,
Lizzie, your quality is like really bad. I don't know if it's your internet, but you were frozen a second ago. But okay, it's better now. But yeah, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
You're good. You're good. We don't get quality internet over here in West Virginia. I'm sorry.
So you're talking about the new variant. Talk to me about the new variant.
Yeah. Okay. So like some of this stuff is kind of like why I stopped paying attention to the media is because of some of the like the headlines and stuff that's going on with, especially now with COVID and everything like that. Like I'm like, fam, can we just get past this? Like, so it's making me wonder, like 100 years ago when the Spanish flu pandemic happened, like were they this fearful around that? Because I'm sorry, this is not really a question. That's just kind of my thoughts coming out right now. Apologize. But like, it makes me wonder because, you know, now we have multiple strands of the flu, and the doctors are having to guess which flu shot to give out each year because they don't know which strand's going to appear. Or like my thought goes to, shouldn't we be getting to this point with COVID?
I think we will
at some point.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we're seeing more and more doctors like Z-Dog come out. And he did a great video on the new strand, by the way, that I linked up into my description. And I think we are. I think we're going to get there. I think we're seeing more folks come out and saying, hey, this is now an endemic, right? There's going to be variants. There's going to be things that we're going to have to just deal with. And people are going to have to assess their own risk. And I think you're right. I think it's going to become just like the flu. And by the way, the flu shot is 50% or 45%, I think, effective. That's why they were so surprised when these vaccines initially came out, because they were talking about 95% efficacy. The Delta, I think, got it to around 70% and minimizing hospitalization. So even if it's a 60%, the goal initially was like 50-60% like the flu shot. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, you know, I think we're going to be fine. Like, I think if the flu shot is at 45-50% efficacy, and that's still given out every year, I think that's where this is going to go. We'll have these vaccines, they'll have a 50% efficacy, or you could just roll the dice the same way people have been rolling the dice with the flu. It sounds like what happens with the variants is that most of them, and I'm no expert, so this is just, guys, don't be mad at me, okay? But it sounds like they become less deadly but more transmissible. That's at least what we saw with Delta.
Right.
And so that's dangerous, because if it's more transmissible, more people are going to get it, and then the numbers are going to go up. You're going to see spikes. But it's also not the end of the world, because it's becoming less deadly, even though more people are testing positive. So I think it's the same way with the flu. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm personally not too worried about it. Like, I'm not too worried about it. Some of you guys are really afraid. I think I'm still meeting with my family. I got family over now, right? I don't even know who is and isn't vaccinated. Like, but my father-in-law's here. My mother's not vaccinated. She just came. I wish she would get vaccinated, to be honest with you. My mother's 60. She's not. I'm vaccinated. I'm not sure if I'll get a booster. I may or may not. I guess we'll just see what they say about this new variant. And so I think we'll see. We'll see. But I don't think this is stuff to be afraid of. Personally, I think this is for us to just be wise. Wash your hands. Like, like if you're sick, wear a mask. Like, just be courteous, and I think at this point, if there's anything that 2021 has shown us is how loony and goofy the media is. And, yeah. And so I think we'll be fine. But yeah, Lizzie, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think we'll be fine. I do not see massive lockdowns again. I don't think that's where things are going. I would hope not. But I think that you might see that in a LA and in New York. But I think the rest of the world and the rest of the country is not going that direction. I don't think they're going to go that direction.
Yeah, because I'm like kind of seeing this. I didn't actually experience the full lockdown except for the fact that I had to leave my college campus in the middle of the semester. So like that's my thing. Like I'm not worried about it. I'm just like so over the media putting the spirit of fear into everything.
Yep.
I'm just like, fam, we're past this point now.
Yep.
We are past the point of this. And my thing is, I don't mind wearing a mask at work because I work at Walmart, right in town. Like I have no problem wearing a mask if the company's telling me to wear a mask. Like, because I'll be honest, I'm not vaccinated. That's because I also somehow am asymptomatic to vid. I don't ask me how. I just know that I tested for antibodies at the beginning of my senior year of college. Did not have antibodies, tested again in January before I went back on campus, and somehow I had antibodies.
Yeah, you probably had it and didn't know you had it, which is not uncommon for younger, healthier people. Lizzie, I hear you. I think I don't know. I think we're gonna. It sucks that your school got disrupted and your education got disrupted and you had to move. That's a bummer. And that's the part I think it's hard to like. Folks that are like, their weddings are getting canceled. Folks that are like, their college is getting disrupted. They gotta move. Like that sucks, man. Like that really sucks. And I feel for you guys because my situation is more or less like not a whole lot has changed from what I was doing 18 months. Like I don't go anywhere, and I don't plan on going anywhere. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, Lizzie. But I think we're gonna be all right. Let me go to Let me go to AJ, and what up, AJ? Talk to me.
Hey. I was gonna say on the COVID note, on the Rona, it's tough. As someone who lives in LA, well, I live in Thousand Oaks, which is 20 minutes from LA. It is wild out here, but we're all gonna make it.
Is it? I feel like Thousand Oaks is a little, because you guys are real close to Calabasas. I feel like you guys are a little different. Like you guys are more like Orange County, like a little more conservative up there, right?
Yes, it is. Orange County is closer to where you are.
Yeah. No, I know. Regionally, I'm saying culturally, I think Thousand Oaks, Calabasas is different than Los Angeles.
Yeah. So like when I think it was maybe LA County, like a month after the mask mandate was taken off, went back on. I think Thousand Oaks, it was maybe like 2 months after they put the mask mandate back on or something like that.
Got it.
So we're just delayed reaction, so to speak, of all the things.
Yep.
But I wanted to kind of go back a little bit to Angel's question, because I kind of had something a little similar.
Yeah.
I've been working at a podcast for the last 6 months
Awesome.
or so. It's a vegan ultra endurance athlete influencer guy. I make his social media videos. I make his TikToks, etc.
Yep. Good for
and
you.
It's good.
Yeah.
And we were having videos going viral for a while, and it was really awesome. And then the videos stopped going viral. And when the video stopped going viral, I started to feel like, man, you don't get the high, so to speak, the excitement of the super successful video.
Sure.
To kind of push you to keep going. And I also, first question is kind of like, how do I continue to do what I'm doing and continue to like love what I do even when the videos don't always go viral? That's question one. But then question two is kind of like, I've been thinking about what if I was to kind of do more of kind of what you're recommending to Angel of like, I should go and find individual groups, individual people or businesses, maybe Christian groups, and try and do video stuff for them on the side. And maybe I'd feel more fulfilled doing that because I know that it's not necessarily about the numbers, whereas at my job at the influencer, it is about the numbers kind of. Is me wanting to do the other thing just me trying to escape away from the not being viral anymore? How do I go about this whole intrapreneur to entrepreneur thing in a way that's healthy, I guess is the question.
Okay, so my first question would be, are the viral videos not happening? Is that a letdown for you or is that a letdown for your client?
I mean, it's more for me.
Okay.
I think he's an older guy, so everything that I'm doing is kind of like, whoa, I had no idea you could do that.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me go back up a second. That's hilarious that I said Oxnard vegan bakery place to Angel, and then you're like, yeah, I work for a vegan influencer. That's funny.
Yes.
So maybe the metric is a video go viral or not. I think you need to have some other metrics for your own contribution so that you don't feel burnt out. Because if everything is subjected to an algorithm pushing a video, you that's not a sustainable business model for you, AJ. Right? So you got to figure out other metrics. So like we have multiple metrics. When we look at what we're doing here, there's a couple numbers wise. We're looking at a couple things. One of them is how many views are we doing on YouTube? Okay, great. We did, like this was a great month for us. We're over close to 700,000 views, right? That's awesome. If we could crack 1 million views in a month, that's great. That's one metric that I'm not always in control of, right? Another metric is how is our email list going? Oh shoot, we got almost 8,000 people on our email list. Great, because if YouTube shuts down, I need to get a hold of these people somehow, some other way. That's a different metric that I'm measuring. Another metric we're measuring is what's the overall revenue that's coming in, right? So we had a great launch with the Love What You Do, Bless God apparel. We're doing a 65% off for our Master YouTube Live course that's happening right now, right? All email, all funnels that I don't even promote the Love What You Do course, but it's 65% off and people could see that. And we've sold quite a few of those over Black Friday. So that's a different metric, right? I'm looking at a different metric than just a typical like, did a video go viral or not? Because those algorithms are gonna change, man. So and you also gotta keep up with the algorithm, right? So if you were doing 15-second videos and those were popping, maybe you need to do a 7-second video. Maybe you got to sharpen your skill set and get even better at short form video to go even more viral, right? Because it's not like no one's going viral right now. There's still organic growth on every platform, Instagram, TikTok. I think people are asleep on Instagram right now, AJ, because of the share to story video. Meaning if you have a really good video that's under 15 seconds, people could share that mug to their story, and that's a very easy way to go viral on Instagram. So, one, I think you need to change your expectations and look at some other numbers than if a video is going viral or not, because that can change, right? So there has to be some other metric you can look at. Is the top line revenue going up? Is he getting more leads? Is he getting more people plugged into his email list? Are more people buying products? Like those are all things that are very important to a business. And maybe there's things you could do to contribute to those other variables, those other numbers, right? And again, now you're making yourself a greater asset to the team. If you're like, yo, man, videos are going viral, but let's create a free product or a free, I don't know, recipe, best vegan recipe ever for dessert, right? And you're going, hey, yo, we're gonna create this vegan recipe. Ruslan told me about monk fruit, that's vegan, and then we're gonna mix it with this, and everybody who signs up to this email list will get a free PDF of this vegan recipe, or you do a free course on the best vegan dessert, or whatever. I'm just thinking out loud, right? And now you're building up his ClickFunnels and his email list, and that could potentially get people to buy a product down the road because you're just adding value to people. You're just blessing with people. Vegans need dope dessert. Boom. I just need, well, you're giving people something. So that's, again, now you're diversifying your skill set. And there's a different metric to look at. The bigger question of like, how do you remain tapped into loving what you do, I think is in my opinion, is more about your own mindset and how you're approaching this, right? Because business isn't static. It's not always like an upward trajectory. It's up and down, so you have to find that internally within yourself in terms of the gratitude, because I'm sure the version of you from 2 years ago when you didn't have this client that was paying you $2,000 a month is probably be freaking pumped that you're now in this position and be super grateful. So you got to kind of play that game with yourself. Like, think about the version of you from 2 or 3 years ago, and if he knew the cool stuff you were doing now, he'd probably be like, AJ, man, that's freaking dope. I was wishing to do this kind of stuff and make this kind of money back then, and now you're actually doing it, and you have skills that I don't have, and you're making money that I didn't think I could make. So I think you got to stay grounded with that and really step back and objectively look at the situation that you're in, because I think like trying to find fulfillment might be a letdown because work isn't always going to be fulfilling, right? So maybe that's a adjustment of expectations, right? Like, I think about YouTube and how privileged and blessed I am to be doing YouTube, but I don't always find it fulfilling. Like, sometimes it's just like, yo, I don't feel great right now. I just popped this Dayquil, but I made a commitment to show up, and I'm here, and I sound like crap, but I'm here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, even if I'd rather be taking a nap right now. You know what I mean? But because again, I got to think about the version from me 5 years ago that like, dude, come on, like, we would have been so pumped to have just people that wanted to hop in and ask us questions and talk about stuff on a live stream and all the equipment and all the stuff that you're doing now. So I think that's how you got to anchor yourself is, you have to remember who you were before you were in this position. And we're so quick to forget, AJ. That's why the scriptures always tell us, especially in the Old Testament, remember, I am the God that took you out of here. I am the God that did this for you. I am the God that brought you to the promised land. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph, right? God's always telling this people to remember who he is, because we're so quick to forget and be like, I gotta do YouTube now. I'm just so unfulfilled with doing it. And it's like, fam, I am in like the top 1% of 1% of YouTubers, and I have the nerve to complain, right? And so AJ, you're in a very unique spot, bro. Not a lot of people at your age get to do the type of work that you're doing with like pretty cool stuff. Like, that's a pretty cool client you have. So I think that's about your belief and what you're thinking about, where you're allowing your mind to go, and what are you filtering it through. Is this helping?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you do have a point in terms of like, I have to acknowledge where I've been brought from as to where I am today, and let the gratitude fuel the day to day, as opposed to the circumstances or the numbers and the likes, and which is tricky, because again, this is social media, that we're working in, and everything's about the likes, but you're right, we should try and make it about other things that aren't those.
Yeah. Angel, let me ask you a question. You were in here earlier, and Angel was trying to get his first client at $2,000 a month. What would you say to AJ about this? As you're looking at it, and I'm sure Angel would be stoked to be in your shoes right now. What would you say to AJ about this?
Honestly, I'm jealous, jealous, but in a good way, motivating me, bro. So definitely just keep going, you know. Keep like even I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. Now I just want you to just take into consideration that all right, this guy's grateful for me, you know. Let that rejuvenate you, let that refresh you, you know, and take all of Ruslan's tips and just go at it harder, bro. I really don't know what else to say other than you're in a good spot.
Like Angel, you would be pumped if you were in AJ's shoes right now, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what this is called, AJ? When you start talking about like fulfillment, you know what that's called? It's called the luxury problem. That's a luxury problem. That's like, oh man, like, how do I find fulfillment in my work? Like that is such a niche question, you know? And so I think try a gratitude journal. Try writing down 3 things a day that you're grateful for, you know, in your prayer requests, right? Like we do prayer every night and we open with praise reports. And you got to be intentional to find a couple things every day that you're grateful for. And I think the more you lead with that gratitude, the more fulfilled you're personally going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. I appreciate it. Also, I live like 30 minutes away from Angel, which is really funny.
There you go. You guys should connect. See, boom. Now you guys could connect and maybe you guys could find a client together or just build a relationship and figure out a way to collaborate on something. Maybe you can give him some tips, AJ, and Angel, maybe you can, show him some cool stuff, with your camera. You got a sick backdrop and, your whole setup is fire. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. I'm going to go to my buddy Sir Agi, and then I'm going to go to Evan right after that. All right. So here we go. All right. Hold on. There we go. Let me fix this.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, Ruslan?
I'm fantastic. Good to see you. It's twice in one weekend.
I know. I've been ghosted for a while, but it's good to jump back into the Patreon community. Yeah, I mean, prior to going back to the conversation since I've hopped in, I mean, with COVID, I'm living in Melbourne, Australia. So if anybody needs any tips about lockdown, doesn't get more locked down than Melbourne did. It's crazy.
Hold on, tell me this: are you guys because I don't know what's going on over there. I hear like the wildest stuff. Is it really like, can you really?
My best friend in Dallas messaged me and he was like, yo, are they putting people in concentration camps? I was like, no, man, they're not doing that. Like, come on, calm down. But
are you able to like go outside? Like what is the lockdowns like in Australia?
Okay, when it was at its strictest,
yeah,
it was, you could only go within a 5-kilometer radius. So that's like nothing. That's like hardly anything that, past your house. You could do shopping. And that was about it. You could work out for an hour. But then besides that, it was like nothing. And I mean, I don't know. We had that for like months at a time. So it got I was handling it all right until the end, because when luckily I had an essential job. So I was driving to work like every day and stuff. But I don't know, at the end, I had to quarantine 3 times in a row because there was a case or something or whatever. And man, I got so over it. I was just stuck in my house for almost a month and a half. And I almost went crazy. I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with this COVID nonsense. I got the bang bang, like you say. I wanted to go back to normal.
So now is it more loosened up? Because I know you guys have pretty high bang bang rates.
Yeah, we have 99%, or sorry, not 99, 90%. We're at 90% in Melbourne. And so they're going to, we're opened up now. I just went to Sydney, saw some friends, started living life a little bit normal again. It's just that we're still quarantining if there's a case, which I guess, I don't know, is it the same in America or not?
Define, sure. What do you mean?
If there's a close case next to you, you have to go get a test, and if it's we have tiers, so it's if you're within 1.5 meters and this person sneezed or something, then you have to go and quarantine for 14 days and test negative.
Holy moly.
3 times.
No, we don't. We ain't got that. I mean, it's just more common courtesy. Like if you're gonna go somewhere, if you're gonna fly somewhere, it's just more common courtesy. Like, just go get it. Don't be a jerk. Like, if you've been exposed, like make sure you're not. You know what I mean? Like, don't get nobody else sick. Like, it's more like that. Like, and most people are pretty cool about it. Like, if somebody's traveling, they'll usually. I didn't this last trip, but they'll usually take a test before and after when they go somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Usually.
Is it true that they're making toddlers wear masks on planes? And then I'm gonna get to my question. That's my last thing.
Not toddlers, but my 5-year-old niece definitely had to wear a mask. I flew her back from Dallas about a month ago, and I think I did see like some pretty young babies, not like babies, but like, you know, like 1, 2. I think I did see that on a plane, which is.
We were nervous about that, but my daughter might actually just wear it because she like she sees us wear it all the time, so she like wants to put it on anyways.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a question that I had, but it was more just pointing out that like I was looking back home, and so there was an event like last week, the National Catholic Youth Conference. And that's like 30,000, 40,000 people. There's one like here, like the Australian Catholic Youth Conference. Then we have like World Youth Day. That's like the whole world. But National Catholic Youth Conference in America. And I saw that Lecrae and Wande opened. And I was so excited. I was so jealous, man, because I could have been there. Like if I was in the States, I would have like performed. I would have gotten to like meet Lecrae.
Yeah.
But like, man, it's just cool because, it's been a long time coming with like a hip hop scene in the Catholic Church. And the fact that like at the national level, they had Lecrae open, it's just really cool, man. It's like, I don't know, it's the start, I feel like, of just kind of welcoming hip hop culture more.
That's awesome, bro.
Into the Catholic scenes, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. I got to have you on at some point to talk more about your Catholic faith, because that's a request I always have from people. Is like, have a Catholic on, have a Catholic on. I'm like, man, I don't know enough, and I also don't know what's a caricature and what's like actual Catholic theology, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we should.
You can have me, who's like a normal lay person, or I could get you hooked up with like Father Rob Galea, who has like a Hollywood movie coming out after him, and he's a very big social media influencer. He's like a musician.
Let's do both. Let's do both. Let's have you and him at the same time. That'd be dope.
Yeah, sweet, man. That's pretty much all I had, man. I hope you have a good day. I mean, every time I'm off the Zooms a lot because like I gotta do stuff when you go live on YouTube. Like,
I got responsibilities and I gotta do stuff. I'm not mad, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. All right, I'm gonna go to Evan. Guys, if you have any other questions, make sure you throw your hand up and hit participants and then raise your hand. And then I think we're gonna start wrapping up after Evan. Evan, talk to me, my guy.
Cool, man. So my question is more out of like curiosity, because like I told you at the beginning of the call, I've been watching you for a while now, and really appreciate what you do. That's why I'm here. But I'm curious because in the last few months are really the only time that I realized like how much you were doing on the entrepreneur side. I thought at first you were just making like discipleship content on YouTube, and that's why I watched you at first. But I came to realize, so now I'm like super curious, learning the last few months, okay, there's a whole operation going on behind this thing that I wasn't aware of. So I'm curious because I think you've struck something that's so valuable, and you've hit a very good balance between solid discipleship content and then something that's genuine.
Kingstream Entertainment.
Something people would want to watch. And so I'm like, okay, you have something really special. So my question would be like, it's kind of twofold. 5-10 years from now, what is your vision in terms of the practicalities, YouTube, everything? Are you trying to like work yourself out of YouTube? Where do you see yourself going ultimately? And then big picture, like bird's eye, what is the vision you have for what you do? How do you ultimately want to impact and advance the kingdom? For like lack of a better term, like what is like the king's dream, right? Like that's like your whole title. What is it that you want to be doing both practically 5-10 years from now, and then ultimately what's in your heart in terms of advancing the kingdom?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so 5-10 years from now, I don't think of stuff in like 5-10 year increments, because all of that can change, right? Like, you know, you like 5 years ago, I don't think I was projecting to be doing what I'm doing now, right? Like I was in a totally different place. I was doing mainly music. It's about to be 2022. Yeah, so 2016. Yeah, I wasn't in the same. Like if you would have told me this, it wouldn't have surprised me. But I think I do well in being faithful to what's in front of me, and looking at ways to solve people's problems that I had and solved for myself. And that's actually what entrepreneurship is, if you think about it. Like, true entrepreneurship is just saying, hey, you have an issue, and I've been able to figure out this issue, and therefore, because I figured out this issue for myself, I could solve it and help other people with this issue. So, in terms of I think what I do with YouTube is important because it allows me to still be amongst the people and be a practitioner, meaning that like I'm not a guy that's like selling something that I'm not doing, right? Like everything I'm selling, digital products, whatever, I'm actively doing or have done, right? And so I think that to me is really important. Like that's a huge value of mine, is like I don't want to just talk about stuff in abstract terms and theories. I want to actually be congruent with those things. So I think to answer your question, 5-10 years from now, I'm hopefully, God willing, doing the same things just at scale, at a bigger scale. Sure. Right. Yeah. So reaching more people on YouTube, having better free digital products, having better paid digital products, having more the apparel side bigger, and helping other people get on YouTube and get popping and exploding on YouTube, because I think the rarest commodity we have is attention and influence, and if we could influence people for the kingdom. What am I specifically trying to influence people to do? I genuinely believe that if people live their life God's way, right, that they will be in the middle of God's will. And that is what I think the King's dream is for us. That's what God's dream is for us, is that we would live his way. When we live his way, that is how we bless God, right? Like we praise God, not just with our words, not just with our church attendance, but with actually getting aligned with his way of life. And I want to see people in and out of the church embrace that. I think there's people in the church that have all the head knowledge and all the right theology, but when it comes to like connecting that to their finances, connecting that to their marriages, connecting that to their health, they just don't get it. Like they just compartmentalize it. And I think that's very dangerous, to have values that you don't live out. That's where imposter syndrome creeps in and all that sort of thing. So one, I want Christians to like really get a hold of like God's ways of doing things for their finances, for their faith, for their fitness, for their family. And then two, I want non-Christians to realize that, everything you think is wise and wisdom about life is actually borrowed from God. And so if you're borrowing so much from God, maybe you should just surrender your life to Jesus because you are proving that God's ways actually work. And a lot of people can benefit from God's ways and don't even know God. And so it's like, why not? Like the God who orchestrated this universe to work the way it works and for things to function in such a unique and succinct way, consider surrendering your life to him. And I think I want to see more of that conversation on a macro scale. And if God would will for me to do that and to talk to the Joe Rogans and the Kanyes and the Dave Chappelles and all these different people that I think have these glimpses of God's ways, but they don't quite fully understand the source going back to scripture and God's word, that would be dope. But I'm like, those are variables I can't control. You know what I mean? Like I can't control who does or isn't. You know what I mean? Like I just got to be faithful to what's in front of me. And so yeah, man, that's more or less the vision, man. Is like, I don't know. I think there's a great opportunity right now, and I think there's a lot of young people that are hungry for something different and aren't content with the same like self-righteous Christianity that we've seen displayed. And I think dialogue around these things and encouraging people to be known by the things they're for and not just the things they're against. So that's kind of like the big picture. But I'm actually open to whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like I'm not like, man, it has to look this way. Because 5 years ago, I thought it had to look like music. And now music has become more of like a passion project for me. It's like, I love making music because I love making music. And it still generates a good amount of revenue for me, but I don't depend on music, right? And so right now, I love making YouTube because I love making YouTube videos. But if in the next couple of years, I'm not dependent on YouTube as an income, I'm super fine with that. And the big picture, ultimately, man, is like, I do believe that intrapreneurship and entrepreneurship is a way out for a lot of people that come from nothing, the way I've came from nothing. That, you know, you're most likely to change your family tree by developing scarce skills and living your life God's way. And that is usually going to be the most direct path. Not just people starting businesses, but people functioning like business owners inside of the businesses they're already a part of. So yeah, man. So I'm still trying to, you know, figure it all out. That's a great question. Does that give you some more context?
Yeah, for sure. That's really good. I was just curious. I wasn't even looking for something specific. I just wanted you to talk about it because I like what you're doing and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, I have all kinds of goals. Like, I would love to have a couple million subscribers, you know what I mean, and that whole bit. But I'm also, I also like being normal and not having like more money than I know what to do with, and you know that whole thing. So I'm open, man. Whatever the Lord wills. I think I'm just gonna do my part, and then wherever I land, I'm gonna be okay. I have like personal goals. Like, I'd like to own and have a paid for home. I want to really hire more people and create more economic opportunity for people. But yeah, man, that's a great question, brother. Let me go to Angel. Angel, talk to me.
Yeah, so I had a quick question about like YouTube titles, because I'm just starting to do some vlogs and incorporating my fitness and just vlogging my life. And obviously trying to name my titles like structured. Like my first video that I posted a couple of days ago, it's 3 tips on how to get your motivation from God. But obviously with like 5 subscribers, I get not that many views, and I'm gonna obviously stick with consistent videos and try titling them good. Is there any type of other strategy to get more traction faster? Yeah, so yes, absolutely. And I think this is why we created the masteryoutubelive.com, and not to like plug the course because I don't talk about the course here, but that's on sale this weekend for 65% off. But if you're unable to scoop up the course, go watch my video on disruptive value, because it's more so like, because what you're talking about, so there's 2 ways of doing YouTube, right? Like, there's the traditional way of like, make evergreen searchable content for a niche. And that's great. Like, that's great. Like that. And that is like, what was the title of the video that you just talked about? 3 tips on how to get motivation from God.
Boom. Okay, 3 tips on how to get motivation from God. Now, the issue with that is that there's probably other people that have made similar videos who already own the SEO on that, right? So now we have to think of, how can we tie in concepts like that into stuff people already care about? So I just did a reaction video I got to edit down to Chance the Rapper's interview, right? Chance the Rapper just did an interview. He talks about celibacy and being pure. He talks about the need for community, which is kind of where I landed. And he talked about the Illuminati, right? Now, if I just made a video and said 3 reasons why you need to be in a local church, right? Like, no one would care, or very few people would care. Like, those videos get like 2,000 views, right? But because it's Chance the Rapper talking about his local community and how he has fellowship with people in a small group that he just joined for the first time, I'm now pulling people into something they already care about. Oh, what does Chance the Rapper think about church? Boom, now we're not, right? You see what I mean? So I think you got to pull in people with something else besides just the evergreen content. Evergreen content is very important, However, if you're trying to have that explosive growth, I think you have to use something else to pull people in. And that's the system that we've developed with MasterYouTubeLive.com. And I do recommend you go through that or at the very least do the niche training and watch the disruptive value video, because the people that are blowing up now aren't blowing up the same way that YouTubers blew up 5-6 years ago. The platform has changed. There's more people on it. It's more competitive. So you got to think of a different way to get it in. And so that is how I would approach it, is like, hey, how can I approach this in a way where I'm actually thinking about the consumer in mind? And then it becomes more of, let me pull in relevant topics into the video. You know what I mean? Let me pull in, stuff that people care about, instead of just leading with an evergreen title.
Got it. And I can sandwich some of my own videos within. You think my subscribers would care or
Yeah, I don't think those videos are going to perform as well, but yes, I think they'll care. Here's a great example, and I'm going to do a video about this later, probably not tonight, but tomorrow. If you look at Mr. Beast, right? Like Mr. Beast started like gaming, and then he started doing vlog stuff and whatever, and then he finally found his lane with like counting to 100,000, you know, and then he did like trying to spend 24 hours underwater, and he started doing stuff that like people were just kind of curious about. But his content has evolved, that even Mr. Beast latest video that's going crazy is a video about him recreating Squid Games. So you got one of the biggest YouTubers in the world, I think top 10 biggest YouTube pages in the world, and he's using something that people care about to pull people in, which is Squid Game. So he's taking Squid Game, he recreated the whole set and redid his own version of Squid Game and gave away $500,000. Like, so Mr. Beast, who's massive, is using something we all care about, which is Squid Game, to get us to watch his video. You got to do the same thing.
Got it, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. I'm trying to find my reason and my why to get out of bed and go to work. I'm in sales and I make good money. So when I make good sales, I chill for a long time. It makes me angry for procrastination. Isaiah, that's such a lofty question, my brother. I would encourage you. To potentially get into a local community with some people that can hold you accountable to that and work through that. And I think you'll see the benefit of that, and or seek out a therapist, because if you're not getting out of bed, that sounds kind of gnarly. That's not like a casual, like, I'm feeling a little down or unmotivated, like you're having trouble getting out of bed. That might be something more severe than just like, I struggle with procrastination. So look at it from one of those two ways. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody being here, man. We will be back. I think we'll do another one of these Tuesday, because Tuesday is, they call it like Giving Tuesday or something like that. So we're going to do a special Patreon launch for Tuesday. And yeah, I appreciate y'all being here, man. Y'all have a blessed one, all right?
Patreon exclusive.
Yo, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. We have a Master YouTube Live free 3-day challenge. If you're a thought leader, entrepreneur, motivational, desiring, I butchered that. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you wanna, let me try this one more time. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. We have a free 3-day YouTube challenge. If you're a thought leader, expert, entrepreneur, business owner, you want to get into the YouTube space, make sure you hit the link in the description and sign up for it below. I'll see you next time. Peace. My time, my mind, what am I? What could be? Mortify, what could be? Fortify, certify, chrome man, total line, no ma'am. Who am I? Sort of guy, borderline, no man. Hit the bag, gotta throw hands. Get the bag with my old friends. All my day ones still here, and I ain't got time to hold hands with a grown man or anybody. Only slow dance to my own wife to them slow jams and the item. Asian from that is highly unlikely. I do it politely. It's dripping like ice. Drip, drip, drip. My fluids are high key. Sip, sip, sip. Living water, so I pity power. You fake on your art like Tai Chi. Yeah, but my tent is in mighty. Like Holy Spirit is inside me. I get the sentiment, something's off. Keep living my life to the Son of Man, Son of God. A sinner to saints ain't feeling so odd. E210 new in him ain't a facade. Stand up, man up, need to see them hands up. Ran up, plans up, need to get the bands up. I need to get them plans up. Need to see them hands up. Stand up, man up, need to see them hands up. Ran up, plans up, need to see them hands. Crafted with skill, asking his will, it'll be given. Mastered with skill, passively built, I've been living. Under my means, hunger it seems keeps me driven. Run it up please, 100 a piece, ain't no limit. Cause I need properties outside the city limits. See, I got people I need to care for, no I ain't fibbing. See, shout out to the haters that help me to make a living. Please keep on watching AdSense, don't come with any receipts. From the departed, skip the rations. I can be subjected to learning from what is classless. I can be rejected from progress when you move backwards. My money's no longer tucked under my mama's mattress. Why? I get the sentiment, something's off. Keep living my life to the son of man, son of God. A sinner to saints ain't feeling so odd.